Now understand, when you have dysfunctional behavior, it can be for a lot of reasons. It could be because of mental illness. And so you can go down a medical pathway where you say, okay, someone's mentally ill, they have something wrong with them, maybe biochemical imbalances or whatever. Or it can be because of really dysfunctional choices and habits that they've picked up, which become so deeply ingrained that they just have a difficult time getting out of that trench. And Mike is someone that works in the latter, people that really have these deeply entrenched habitual behaviors. And Mike actually has a new book that is an absolute must-read called Best Self, Be You, Only Better. And we'll talk about that more later. But Mike, it's not about breaking habits, because you don't break habits, do you?
You don't break habits, you replace them with new ones.
If we say, okay, you've got a habit of gambling, you need to break that habit. If we take that away from you and don't put something new in its place, then it'll just go right back. Yep. There'll be a void there and you'll just fill it with that same thing. Now, let me tell you what I've told them. This is not a John problem, this is a family problem. This isn't just you, it's a family problem. This whole family's dysfunctional because your mother and you have defined a relationship that is highly dysfunctional. She has allowed you to regress because you're 25 years old, right?
Yep.
Now, at 25 years old, you should be fully independent. Would you agree?
100%.
But the two of you have defined a relationship that has robbed you of that. So you're not independent, correct?
Correct.
What should you be doing right now?
I should be at work.
But you don't have a job.
Correct.
He doesn't have a job, so what should he be doing?
Looking for a job.
And what does that mean?
Getting out of the house 50, 55 hours a week looking for a job. Walking up and down the street, getting a resume together. I'm looking for a job.
See, sometimes you can be so far down and you can feel so far down, so emasculated, so lost that the hill you've got to climb is so overwhelming, you go, oh my God, I'm so far behind, I'll never catch up.
Yep.
And so then it's overwhelming, right?
Yep.
And that robs you of your initiative, your motivation. It just starts a step at a time, right?
It does.
And our attitude, and we've talked about it, is if you would spend 60 hours working, if you had a job, but you don't, then your job is finding a job, and you ought to work at least as hard looking for a job as you would if you had a job. If you would work 60 hours at a job, then you ought to work at least 60 hours looking for a job. And if you think if you were working 60 hours looking for a job that you would get a job?
100%.
Hell yes you would. I'd hire you. I mean, a guy comes in, good looking, able-bodied, smart.
He's charming, right?
Absolutely.
Yes.
You can get a job, but what this means is if you had a job, you would get up in the morning at 7 o'clock, you would get a shower, you would get dressed, and you would go out the door. So you know what you got to do? You got to get up at 7 o'clock, take a shower, get dressed, get out of the house, and go, and you spend 60 hours a week looking for a job.